Hey friends, welcome back to Acre Homestead. I'm not even exactly sure how to start this vlog. I'm at the doctor's office. I took a pregnancy test and it came back positive, and it was one of those really cheap Amazon ones. And so I've been having definitely some different symptoms, and I thought that I should come to the doctor and get it confirmed. I haven't told Josh. Josh has no idea, other than the fact that I've been feeling really, really sick lately. We had a huge meeting that we both had to go to, and there's some other exciting news that you'll find out soon enough. But I was so sick, I was driving, because I tend to get really car sick, and I was driving and I was like making myself extremely car sick while driving. And then to go into the meeting, I was like, there's no way I can go in. So I just laid in the back of my car while he went into the meeting, and I said, call me if you need me. And then that day I did absolutely nothing. The next day I did absolutely nothing. And I've just been feeling really, really sick, just like really nauseous. And the only thing that really sounds good are like light carbs. I normally don't eat that many, like cereal. Like if you watch my grocery haul, I bought cereal because that's like the only thing that sounds like soothing or like not too much on my stomach. And then today I woke up feeling like I have a UTI. I don't know if that's TMI, but I feel really uncomfortable. And so I thought, you know what, let's just go to the doctor, kill two birds with one stone, see what's going on. Josh and I haven't been trying, but we haven't not been trying, if that makes sense. And so yeah, thanks for coming along with me, and let's see what this is all about. All right, we are out, and they said that it definitely was a positive test. So I have a lot of feelings and emotions right now, and we get to go figure out a way to tell Josh. The kind of like UTI symptoms, I haven't talked about this in a long time on the videos, but because it's been really under control, but I see a urologist for interstitial cystitis, and I think it's those symptoms that are creeping up, which I have already cut out caffeine again, and so I think it's just a matter of managing that, and it has nothing to do with this. And so I have an idea of how I think I'm going to tell Josh. I think what I'm going to do is make a thumbnail, some sort of thumbnail or something, and try to like call him in and be like, hey, do you want to like give me your opinion on the thumbnail? And so I think that's what I'm going to do, but I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. I've never done this before. So I went to the pharmacy and they didn't have the prescriptions that I was given, but I have these that I haven't taken. I just took the really, really cheap ones that, you know, the cheap ones. And this one has, let's see, the digital one on it. So what I think I'm going to do for surprising Josh is I'm going to take this and then make the thumbnail. But I really need to work on editing. I'm sorry, not editing. I need to film 2 videos, or at least 1 video right now. So I'm gonna go change, get ready, get the kitchen set up, film the video, and then I'll probably run back to the pharmacy because my prescription should be ready, and then we'll go ahead and get this set up for Josh. I got my video edited, and then I ran to the pharmacy and my prescription was filled. He gave me a couple things for nausea, or the doctor recommended B6. That's first with the ginger, which I already bought a bunch of ginger when I did that grocery haul. I just didn't show it. The ginger and this were the 2 things I didn't show in the grocery haul. And then step 2, if that's not working, he gave me or recommended this. It's actually a sleeping medication, but it's supposed to help, but then it could cause drowsiness. And so I said, I don't know if that's going to work all the time. The last resort for anti-nausea is a prescription. And so what we're going to do now is take this and create a thumbnail for Josh. I have all the feelings right now. Yeah, so does that look like a cute thumbnail right there? Oh yeah, I can hear his car. So maybe I could just turn the camera on right here. Maybe I won't do a thumbnail. Maybe I'll just show him right here. Nothing?
Why are you recording?
Because I'm surprised to tell you.
No. Really? What? You stinker! Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that went really well. Not exactly how I planned, obviously, but I mean, that's okay. I think it was really cute, and he's super excited, super happy, all the feelings. Thanks for being here, guys. I'll keep you updated. Hey friends, you may have been a little surprised by that announcement, and quite honestly, so was I. Maybe you have some hints, I don't know, about different things I've said or what it might be. Cheers, I just finished doing a big cookie day prepping for our first huge housewarming party tomorrow, and so I thought I'd just sit down and chat with you about what's going on and tell you about how the first trimester is going. But first, I needed a little drink of carbonated water. To say that we were surprised and happy about this is an understatement. It's not that we didn't know it couldn't happen, but it wasn't necessarily planned, but it wasn't not planned, but it was just surprise. I thought what I would do is just sit down and kind of go over the first trimester. So we're just gonna be chatting here. If you want to get something to drink or do the dishes or put headphones in, and we are just gonna sit down and chat for this little bit. So technically I am about 14 and a half weeks pregnant right now, which is kind of crazy. And we honestly have only told a handful of people. We are telling the rest of the family and friends this weekend when we have that big housewarming party, but a couple of our family and friends are not going to be there, so we thought that we would go ahead and privately have dinner with them and share the news with them because we didn't want them to feel left out by not knowing when everybody else knows. And so, quite honestly, it's been hard to feel like it's real. I think because my brain has been so preoccupied with the house. I mentioned in one of the videos, I don't know if it's the one that this one's going to be attached to or a different one, where I say I'm really good at compartmentalizing, and I've been really focused on the house. And now that we kind of have a good grasp on what's happening over there, it's like, okay, now I can start to switch my brain. And I think because I haven't told any of our family and friends really, it doesn't really feel like it's happening. Josh would have told them a long time ago, but I just needed a little bit of time for it to be our little thing, and so we could just enjoy this special moment together, because the rest of the family and friends are going to know for the rest of the life of this person that's coming. And so for me, I wanted it to be something special for Josh and I, just for him and I to know. So the first trimester, my main symptoms was when I first found out I was super, super sick, super nauseous, couldn't function, and extreme fatigue. And I still sometimes get that. I have figured out a good medication regimen to make me feel functional, but even just yesterday, I canned a bunch of strawberry jam, and I had plans to do a bunch of computer work, and I couldn't do it. I just had to give myself a day off, and that is okay. And so just because you see me busy in this first trimester, because you see videos of me being active, doesn't mean that's how I am all the time. Sometimes I lay in bed all day. I don't do it a lot, but yesterday I seriously got in bed at 1 o'clock, and I did not get out of bed until this morning when I did a bunch of cooking stuff, because I knew I had to be productive today, that I just had to give myself one day to do absolutely nothing. My sink was full with dirty dishes. I could have folded a bunch of laundry, and I just had to say no to that, and that is okay. So I just want you to not feel like I can do everything even while I've been sick. I can't do everything while I've been sick. I just have to learn to say no sometimes, and then you're not going to watch me lay in bed because that's boring. That is that. So sickness and tiredness have kind of been my biggest symptoms. I haven't had any real food aversions, other than the fact that sometimes when I feel nauseous, just nothing sounds good to eat, and so I just haven't really wanted to eat anything. And it's not that I have like chicken or one particular thing just doesn't sound good at all. It's just that sometimes nothing sounds good. Mostly what sounds good are light things like carbs and stuff, and we don't tend to eat a lot of that. So when I first found out I was eating cereal for breakfast, I don't usually eat cereal, and that's what set well on my stomach. But right now, I don't really have much of that food aversions to anything. I can really eat anything. It's just a matter if I feel well enough to eat. One of the other symptoms that first happened, and I was like kind of worried about it, was I feel myself getting out of breath. Even you might notice in some of the videos, I notice it when I'm editing it, but I can tell that I just feel out of breath, and I guess that's normal. But I was talking to my doctor, and I was like, sometimes I'll go up the stairs and I just kind of feel like shortness of breath, and she said that's totally normal, so that is a good thing that I don't have to really worry about that. The cool thing is, as of now, I have seen the baby 3 times. Josh has been able to see it twice. We had our first ultrasound where we did a date. We measured to know the date because I don't track anything, so I didn't know exactly when. I'm pretty sure I know when it happened, but I didn't know, I couldn't give them the last date of my last cycle. So we did a first ultrasound where we got to measure the baby, and you'll see that together where Josh and I go. And that was the first time. And then when I went to my first official OB appointment, I got to see the baby, and I didn't know that I was going to get to see the baby, or Josh probably would have wanted to go to that appointment, but it was just really quick. And then we had our first trimester ultrasound, and that was surprisingly about an hour, and that was great. So far everything has been good. We've done some testing and everything like that, and so far everything is good. We are going to be finding out the gender. I was hoping that when we announce with our family, we were going to be able to announce the gender as well, because we did the blood test. But I did that on Monday morning, and they said it can take up to a week. And right now it is Friday afternoon. I haven't heard. It's about 3 o'clock. So I doubt I'm going to know by this weekend. So unfortunately, we're just going to announce it, but we're not going to be able to announce the gender at the same time, because yes, we are going to find out the gender. That is something that I could not go 9 months without knowing. And when it comes to names, Josh and I haven't really thought about a lot of names or anything yet. I mean, I have a list of names I like. He doesn't really have very many he likes, but we're just kind of waiting to really talk about that until we know the gender, because obviously that will take out about 50% of the names, and it'll just be a lot less to wrap our brain around coming up with. We have a history of taking a very, very long time to name things. Orbit, our first dog, we knew we were getting him for about 4.5 weeks before we were able to bring him home. And it took us that entire time to agree on a name. Tibro, our second dog, it took us, after 2 weeks of having him, he did not have a name before we could agree on a name. And so as soon as we find out the gender, that's probably something we need to start focusing on, because we are not very good with our track record on coming up with a name that we both agree on, because it's a very important thing. And it's a lot of pressure. So if you guys have any suggestions, I greatly appreciate that down in the comments, because I feel like that's not my strength, is coming up with names. And I really like unique names. I like really pretty names. And yeah, so I have a list of names that I've always liked, but Josh doesn't really like any of them. So we are kind of starting from scratch when it comes to that. And that kind of wraps up where we are right now. And like I said, I have not put any thought into kind of what this is going to entail. So we are going to be due around the beginning of December. And so we have time. I feel like this is a good time to finish focusing on the new house. We should have that all buttoned up and figured out. We should be able to move in there, and the garden harvest will be done. We'll still have a few months of time to kind of prep and prepare, but right now my brain is still thinking about the new house, and then my brain is going to switch to harvest and food preservation, and then it'll be nice. We'll be able to go into the winter focusing on this. And what I'm really excited about is the time. I probably, if I would have I would not have chose December, because then that's around Christmas, but I'm glad it's going to be the beginning of December, just for the sake of the birthday for the rest of this baby's life, that it's not going to be right at Christmas. But it's going to be a really good time, because that's going to give us enough time to kind of figure out what we're going to be doing for the garden for next year, because we do plan to have a pretty large garden. Now, I might be completely naive and have way bigger aspirations that is actually realistic. If I have to get help to help us put in the garden beds, then that's something that we might have to look into. Or I might not start all my seeds from
you know, myself. But whatever it might be, I have big ambitions, and then when it comes to time, we'll just have to figure out together exactly how things are going to play out. One of the most exciting and cool things about this is just watching Josh and seeing how excited he is. It is the cutest thing in the entire world. He keeps telling me he wants to shout it from the rooftop, and I keep telling him it's just our little thing for right now, but after this weekend he will be able to do that, and it is just absolutely so adorable to watch him. And he's been extremely supportive, and he's taken care of me really, really well. Anything I need, he is on it. He's just been really, really awesome, and I just want to thank him for all that he has done for our family and what he's doing on the new house. He works more than full-time outside the home, and he's been coming every day after work to the new house to work on it for us, and he's just doing a really great job. So thank you, Josh, for putting in all the time and effort you do for your family. We love and appreciate you for that. And I want to thank every one of you for being here and being so supportive throughout this entire process. I'm honestly blown away and humbled by your guys' generosity, your kind words. The fact that you show up and watch my videos is more than I could ask for. All the thumbs up and everything like that, every single thing means more to me than you could ever know. And I just want to say thank you for being here and being so supportive. We are excited, and I'm excited you're here along the journey. I will document this process as much as possible. I personally am not the type of person that, you know, is going to take a weekly update, photo, or anything like that. That is just not who I am. But I want to be kind of honest and transparent with how things are going. So far, overall, pretty good, except for the tiredness and the sickness, but I think we have that figured out now. And it's just learning to give yourself grace when, you know, you need to relax. And I'm pretty grateful that I have the opportunity that I can kind of adjust my schedule depending on that. I have a lot of respect for everybody who's gone through this, who works outside the home and doesn't have the pleasure of being flexible with their schedule. That just puts a whole new perspective on what some of my old coworkers went through, and I just have tremendous amount of respect. Or people that have kids and are going through this, because you have to take care of other people and making sure other people stay alive while you don't feel good. And so I just want to say I am pretty blown away by the ability of women and how strong we are, or how strong you are, to be able to go through this and have tons of other responsibilities that you continue to have to do even when you don't feel good or when you're tired. I think I'm going to leave it right here. I want to say thank you again for hanging out with me. I will keep you guys updated, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye, friends.